Let's talk about overcoming client boredom. Let's talk about being fully engaged in the moment. Let's talk about being in the zone. A lot of the issues why perhaps we can't get our clients the results that we want to some of the time is this idea that like clients can't stay engaged long enough to get the results that they want, or they focus too much on the parts of the workout they find painful or tedious.
This is the online trainer show, trainer show, trainer show. This is the online trainer show. We shouldn't have a podcast.
I'm reading the comedian Norm Macdonald's biography right now.
I love Norm Macdonald.
Oh my God, it's funny. So the story behind this autobiography, when I heard the story, I'm like, yo, I gotta read this. He was given a lot of money to write an autobiography, and he's like, I don't want to write an autobiography. Then he looked at the contract and was like, well, they're paying me a lot of money to write an autobiography, but it doesn't have to be true.
No, so he just made stuff up.
Made it up, and it is the most ridiculous thing you have ever seen. So there's
oh my God,
his story about when he was working for SNL is all about how he fell in love with Sarah Silverman, but she was dating somebody else, and so he tried to have that guy killed. And then he went to jail for 4 months, but he heard them say 40 years, and he just made a mistake, and they let him out for 4 months, and he's like, what are you doing? I thought I was in here for 40 years. They're like, no, 4 months. He's like, oh, I heard you wrong. But they the story of like, he called up his buddy who lives in New York and was like, hey man, you're from New York, you must know somebody who's able to kill other people for money. And then his buddy reported on him, and it turns out a cop showed up to the meeting at the deli, and Norm Macdonald was all pissed off because he's like, well, if you're going to go to a deli to order out a hit on somebody, you may as well go to a good deli, but this guy's taking me to the crappy deli in town. And then he's there, and the police officer starts negotiating with him, because this guy just pretended that he was a police officer that was like dressed up as a police officer, and he was actually a hitman. And he negotiated with Norm Macdonald. And then, of course, when Norm Macdonald agreed and handed over the money, he arrested him and took him to jail. And Norm Macdonald was just like, you know, the part that pisses me off the most is that this guy negotiated with me. Like,
before he jailed me. Like, I had to do the hard work of negotiating.
That's right.
Before the sting happened.
Yes.
And he deserved to. And now, Jonathan, I don't want to judge you, but it sounds like you're making this up. And I'm not here to judge. I haven't read the book, so I'm not an authority here.
I'm giving you the PG like you're making version of the book, man. This book gets very filthy in a lot of ways. It's really funny.
I hope that's on the Amazon review. This book is very filthy in a lot of ways. That's that'd draw me in. Keto, I'm so jealous of your light here and
thank you.
The sun and shining on. So, if you guys don't recognize the voice, it's Catalina Belmonte. She's actually a member of the podcast. You may not have heard her recently here on the podcast, but yes, she's supposed to be here. This isn't one of those. What do they call it? Zoom crash? People were Zoom crashing other Zoom.
I just showed up randomly at this link that I found somewhere in Reddit. I don't know, right? That's why I'm here.
She popped in highly inappropriate as usual. So I've got a little stress. Can I share with you guys what my stress point is right now? Do we have time for that? Okay.
Yes.
Jonathan looks enthralled as usual. There's going to be another Jonathan Goodman GIF coming out of this.
We specifically picked a topic for last episode that required having feelings.
And the feelings didn't show up.
And our feelings
we
expert,
lost you in that.
Exactly. And our feelings expert decided to not show up.
I am
you had a good excuse.
Yes, it was like a family thing. So I knew I was going to take abuse over it, though. I knew it. So thank you for not.
No,
thank you.
Fine. You told us, and it was a good reason and everything. No,
we knew.
Fully didn't show up. Where Len and I didn't even notice until the end, and we were like, "Yo, that was a good episode. What was different?" and then we figured it out. That was the time when it really hit me. No, last week was
totally different than that episode, Jonathan. That was a totally different thing.
Totally different.
I feel so
is it
valued.
cold in here? Yeah, and you are valued. My my stress
Your
point, and
stress.
then
Yes.
I'm going to defer to Keto so she can bring us up to speed on in the field correspondency, if that's a word. So my stress is that the PlayStation 5 got released today, and I
Oh.
was not on the pre-order list. Yes, the PlayStation 5 is out. I'm not on the pre-order list, so I have these opportunities: 12 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Walmart, and its marketing genius, has them available for stock online only.
Okay.
Walmart also cares about our health. They don't want us coming in and getting the
Yeah.
COVID,
The
over the
COVID.
PlayStation. So you can only order it online. Most
Right.
places you can only order it online. Well, I missed the 12 o'clock time.
Ooh.
So yeah, I missed that. 3 o'clock, I'm going to be on the line with an OTA student, so I'm going to miss that one too. So I'm
Cancel.
banking on 6 o'clock
Cancel.
or 9 o'clock. If neither one of those happens, the holiday season's over for me. I
How
won't be
much-
returning to
how
the
much
show.
is-
What
a
can we
PlayStation 5?
schedule for Ren right now for those hours? No, I'm kidding.
No,
We
nothing,
support you.
nothing.
Nothing. Don't
How
schedule
How much?
anything.
How much is a PlayStation 5? I
I think it's
haven't played a
400.
video game in like 10 years. Like
Well,
I didn't
Jonathan,
even know video games are still a thing.
well, Jonathan, generally speaking, you are anti-media in every
It
possible way.
seems like it, doesn't it?
you,
Yeah.
you are the client that you are the viewer, listener, reader that no marketing team tries to reach. You know, there's a
They don't even
terminology in
try.
all of the term in media marketing is we don't want a Jonathan Goodman to sing.
If you
That's
look
what
at a pie graph, it's like target markets. It's
right.
like, okay, young
Not Jonathan
kids,
Goodman.
okay, young adults, teenagers, college kids. Yo, that's a good one.
The,
People who want to run away and live in the woods. Now we're just going to
right.
ignore that
It's
one.
like,
Right.
no,
That's you.
totally. No.
Jonathan Goodman for marketing media is the dot that's adjacent to the pie chart. He's not even in the chart. There's one moon dot orbiting the pie chart, and that's labeled Jonathan Goodman. So of course you're not into a job. But what I'm trying to say is I'm stressed about this PlayStation because I read a story. This may be actual value to the people listening.
Well,
In
then we
terms
don't
of
want to hear it.
marketing, they might. It's too early for value, but why not? It's the holidays. Why not? So I read a story or listened to an audiobook, and they were talking about marketing toys for children. Now,
Right.
the people on this podcast, you have children, and
Mm-hmm.
no doubt at some point your children will want the hottest toy. Like Nate's a bit young, Calvin's a bit young, but Keto's got kids
Oh, yeah.
in that wheelhouse that they've
Yep.
seen something and they're
And
sort
they
of
want it.
and they want it
Mm-hmm.
and they want it.
Yeah.
So here's what I learned, and it was a toy business guy. He said, "Have you ever noticed that the thing sells out at Christmas?"
Mm-hmm.
And obviously everybody's seen that. That's happened. Whether it's a Furby, whether it's a Tickle Me Elmo, whether it's a
Yeah.
in my days a Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh.
Those things sold out right at Christmas time. It's very, very, very harsh season when I wasn't able to get that little bald headed Caucasian doll that I wanted for Christmas. Uh, it was a different time, socially. We didn't have the racial angst that we had in the 80s. In the 80s, I clamored for a little bald headed Caucasian plush toy. And I love all people. We're all a rainbow here on the Online Trainer Show. So this is a safe place to mention this. But in any case, so invariably it's sold out for Christmas. It's because historically toy companies had horrible January and Februarys. So what they do is they under order the hot item for Christmas. They know 40 to 50% of the people are not going to be able to get it. Because why wouldn't they just make enough, right? So what
Mhm.
happens is they release it again. It's back in stock. Do you know when? In January and February. So parents end up standing in line because they have promised their children in December that I'm going to get you that Cabbage Patch doll. Mommy, I want the Furby. I want the Tickle Me Elmo. Parents across the world, country really, but across the world have promised their kids. And invariably the toy manufacturers know that it's been understocked.
Okay.
They're banking on the fact that you've promised that to your child, and your kid's going to be able to drag you back to the toy store in January or February after you said, we're not buying any more toys. I bought the stuff for
Right.
Christmas, that's it. And then the
Yeah.
puppy dog eyes come out, and then the commercials start in January, promoting the same thing. So they heavy on the commercials in December. They understock the thing that they've gone super heavy on the commercials for, knowing that it's understocked. You won't be able to get it. the commercials run again in late January or February to reignite your child's interest in that thing that you failed to get them. You failure. You failed as a parent. You feel guilty. You promised it, but you promised. And now toy companies no longer have down January and Februarys. And I thought that was the most
That's
deceptively
brilliant.
clever marketing tool ever.
We've been played. We've been played for fools.
Played for fools. But I digress. Kiddo, how are things going for you? Your absence was so noticeable last time. Nobody laughed at anything.
Felt like there was a void.
There was a void. There was no cackle.
It was so cold. You know what it was? It was we didn't have the women. We only had the woman.
Right.
Right. Yeah, the females. You were down to one female.
We were down to one female.
Probably going to get an angry letter about that pretty soon. It's like this is going to people going to be.
I'm waiting for that episode to go live where we talked about the reviewer who complained.
Yes,
right.
Who complained that they didn't
the girls.
They didn't let. So, what did he or she, the reviewer, call you guys?
The girls or the women?
I think the women. I think she said, "Let the women talk more."
Let the women talk more. Yeah.
I don't know who they are, even though you introduce them literally every podcast. I'm not paying attention to them at all, but I just want them to talk more. But Keto, family issue aside, I know you had a family emergency you had to deal. Like, how are things? What's going on in the field with you that we missed last time? Anything?
It is honestly like this has been like a tremendously positive week for me, and I get to be like the ray of sunshine today. Last week, like I'm killing my training. It's going so freaking well, and it's one of those like I haven't had like a length of time like sustained, consistently since COVID started. Like it was so choppy with training and stress and all, just like our clients, right? Like I was going through the same. Right. So right now that it's being like consistent, I'm going to the gym and doing my thing. It's like, yes, I feel like She-Ra again. It's like my power is back kind of situation. I love it. I'm loving it too. Yes.
So you're on the cusp of challenging Amber Reynolds for delt supremacy. Is that what you're saying?
I am coming for the title of like the biggest delts and on the podcast. So yeah, I mean, we know Jonathan is not even in that competition, so that's fine. So clearly, it's kind of like
I'm on a fat loss program. I had to jog for 5 kilometers before this. What a waste of time!
You had to run.
What a waste of time that is.
I don't run. Like one thing my clients will tell you about me, I just running is not my thing. I had a client send me the magnet for the car that says 0.0. I literally have that on my refrigerator right now.
That is fantastic.
Because they my clients know, they tease me about running. They know that I do not run.
Yeah.
It's just a horrible thing to do to your own humanity, to just like, I'm like, don't people know that they have cars now? Like,
waste of time, if you ask me.
And it's so time consuming. Did you find your run time consuming today, Jonathan? Did it consume
I did.
time?
The funniest thing is, I mean, so normally I would do it in the morning. Like Tuesday morning, I went to the track at like whatever, 6:15. But I drove my parents to the airport this morning. And so I had to do it at lunch just before we record this episode, like the olden days, I used to work at lunch before all of the gyms shut down. And yes, I did. It was actually less time than I would have spent lifting weights and felt much, much longer.
Yes, I find that too. It's just like, oh my God, I've been here forever. And it's like 2.5 minutes. No, like why? It's
so
like
goddamn slow.
It's like a plank. It's like a moving plank. I don't know. It's equally as boring. I don't know.
I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah. I'm like, oh, look, I gotta make it to like that point in the distance before I turn around. And I'm running towards him like, how the hell am I not there? 5 seconds? What in the hell? How is this over 5 seconds?
And for the runners out there listening, we're not bad mouth. Like, if you love it,
you do.
Find something.
How dare you enjoy this?
Jonathan's holding no space for runners whatsoever. He has complete lack of empathy for anyone deciding to run.
We're talking about client boredom today. What a great way to segue into it.
In my mind, running is like the detention of fitness. It's like It's punishment for something.
You're grounded.
Yeah, you're grounded.
Sure.
That's what running
is. You got to do something, but you're not quite sure what, and you know what you're currently doing is not productive.
Right.
Yep.
Basically
Oh my gosh. So all runners out there, keep tuning in to episodes of the Online Trainer Show. If you're not in love with us yet, give us a few more episodes. We bash what you love to do. We got some great runners. Gina does a lot of running and training. She's awesome. I can't pronounce her last name, but I know she's awesome. I can't remember how to say it. I know what it looks like. That's the other thing about the internet. Like, you meet people whose names you've only read, so you can't say them.
Yeah.
I have that experience a lot in OTA coaching. But in any case, so we've got a topic today.
Yeah.
Amber's got a Delts out. Keto's here. She's drinking something. We don't know what it is. It's a festive cup. That's all I know. What's on the front of that mug, Keto? What is that?
It's some kind of artsy thing.
Okay, so flower.
I don't know. It's like a duck or a loon. I think it's a loon. Look, I think it's a loon.
Okay, all right. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Very Canadian. Very Canadian.
That was Canadian. I just want to call out just how good that shtick was that we just ran. I just want to call out.
You can't call out, Jonathan. If you call out the shtick,
then I feel like we just peaked. I feel like we just. What's on that mug? What's on that mug, Carolina? What's on that mug? I think it's 1 minute. Let me check. I think it's art. I just want to say that we're on episode 50 something or other now, and I feel like we just keep getting better.
Yes.
with the segment now entitled "Keto, What's on That Mug?" Tune in next episode to find out what's on Keto's mug. Jonathan liked it. Keto, I thought it was riveting. Keto, you really sold the performance. I felt the energy.
Thank you. I haven't had my purple drink either. I am feeling personally attacked over my purple drinks lately, so I don't know what to do about that.
So again, running, perfectly justified.
Perfectly justified. So I'm probably 30 minutes.
Shame you.
Right.
Every time. Every chance.
I love the purple drink.
I'm going to run shame. I'm going to purple drink shame. One day I might even Nike hat shame.
It's fine. We will just shame you.
I'm never going to
holds empathetic space for no one. Literally nobody. So we've got a topic. Keeping the client interested, invested, keeping the client, period. We're 30 minutes deep into the podcast. It's about time to talk for at least 5 solid minutes about what the topic is that you've read as you scrolled to this podcast today. So, I know Jonathan's ready to go. I like the shave also, Jonathan. It's just, trimmed down a bit.
Yes.
I can tell the seriousness of the steps that the Personal Trainer Development Center is about to make, based solely on the length of Jonathan Goodman's beard. Like, I knew something serious happened today. Like, if you guys noticed, when he had the full beard, like, we didn't have shit going on here at the PTDC. I mean, it was vacuous. Like, we made no strides or advancements in training, online training, information, nothing. Shaves it down, and I know things are happening. And I can't reveal what those things are, but, it's interesting how the company flows in accordance with the follicular development of your chin and cheeks.
I feel like just like animals are in tune to like nature and storms with what happens, like the wind and the way the clouds are moving, and they just know. It's like, we know what's happening thanks to Jonathan's beard. And so I don't know. I feel very connected to this whole organization right now.
It's an old Navajo trick that you can read the signs through Jonathan Goodman's beard. Many chiefs have purported that as a way reading of the Goodman beard.
I do consult with Chief Run with Wolves, and
oh man, I've got a joke about that, but it'll have to wait till another podcast. We're tracking deep into the podcast.
Hey, Jonathan Goodman here. This podcast is made possible thanks to people like you. Here's a quick word from our sponsors. Are you still trying to pick your online training software? If so, Let me make this easy for you. Go with PT Distinction. It's truly the best, and I'm not just saying that because they're our sponsor. We actually use PT Distinction for our own online fitness business, online trainer coaching, and we're really happy with it. From onboarding to programming to client communication, PT Distinction has everything you need to run your online fitness business smoothly, and it's super simple to use. Now, normally they offer a free 30-day trial, but as a listener of the Online Trainer Show, you get a free 60-day trial, so you can make sure you love them before spending a dime. If you want to deliver first-class service to your clients while reclaiming your time, then visit onlinetrainer.com/PTD to sign up for your free 60-day trial today. If you're a fitness nutrition coach that's looking to master online coaching so that you can help more people, make more money, and have more freedom, then the Online Trainer Academy can help. OTA gives you the framework, knowledge, and support to have predictable success with your online coaching business. From marketing to business development to how to assess and motivate your clients online, it is constantly updated and refreshed to keep up with a dynamic market. Not only that, OTA is proven. In 7 years, we've helped over 30,000 coaches in 87 countries go online. Truth is, we know what works, so you can get right to the success part. And in case you're busy working a full-time job or you're a full-time parent, know that you can go at your own pace. There's no deadlines to complete OTA, and you have lifetime access. That said, if you are ready to make a rapid change and finish the course in the next 8 to 12 weeks, you can expect to invest 3 to 5 hours each week on the program. And here's the best part. If you join today, you will make an extra $1,000 a month in 90 days, or I'll give you your money back. So if you're ready to build the fitness business you want and make the money you deserve, go to onlinetrainer.com/academy to enroll today. And I hope to see you in there. Let's talk about overcoming client boredom.
Yes, do it, Jonathan.
Let's talk about being fully engaged in the moment. Let's talk about being in the zone.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Let's talk about, everything, watching the finale of a TV show where you're engaged in it. For me, it's like, I'm in the zone, like going for a hike where it's perhaps uneven terrain or a little bit more technical, like mountain biking. I like doing too. It's like more technical mountain biking where you have to be fully engaged where you are.
Right.
You don't really need special motivation because the task like commands your full attention. And it's this idea of like attention as a resource is pretty finite. Particularly now. And so, but we need clients to be attentive. We need clients to be committed. We need clients to be in the zone when they're doing our programs in order for them to get results. And it's like in a single workout, but also over time, because we all know that getting results takes time. And a lot of the issues why perhaps we can't get our clients the results that we want to some of the time, and what I hope that this little spiel that I'm about to go through will help is this idea that like clients can't stay engaged long enough to get the results that they want, or they focus too much on the parts of the workout they find painful or tedious. And it's important to kind of get over that, right? It's important to help identify what the client's going to be engaged with. And also like, hey, some of the workout you may not like as much as other stuff. Like I get news for you. When I train clients, like there was always one I didn't like as much as the others. There was always one. Right. And I don't quite know why. But the minute that one left, there was another one that became that one. Like there was always one.
There's always someone.
And
man,
you guys get it, right? All of you are laughing because there's always one.
True. It's true, though. It's true.
Boy, do we get it.
So let's talk about like narrowing your client's attention. There's kind of 4 strategies to do this. And so the first one is just to give your clients more variety, and like there's a line that you have to walk. I mean, variety, we've written about programming. What we do with online trainer coaching, in fact, in the programming, there isn't much variety because we're working with trainers. And the reality of it is great programs often have much less variety than what you see. Because when you look at the prioritization of the core components of program design, of when you look at what actually creates physiological adaptation, variety is like the 4th prong down. And for that reason, variety, particularly variety in movement patterns, should mostly be ignored. because you're never going to get through the first 5 to 6 weeks of neuromuscular adaptation in order to actually get physiological adaptation if you keep changing stuff up too much. But you can still add variety into a workout while maintaining the integrity of your program. And that's kind of where you've got to walk the line, because progression requires consistency, but all too often consistency comes at the cost of engagement and attention. And what's interesting is that your clients might not even be getting bored, but you're getting bored. So you change it up, because you're paying way more attention to the programming than your clients are most of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you've got to kind of give the client more variety without derailing the program. And the variations should feel different enough to the client to get them to focus their attention on the novelty of the task while maintaining the movement pattern. So basically, you're heading in the same direction, but taking a little bit of a different path. So what are some examples? You can switch the grip on an exercise. So if you're doing like I'll use the most basic example. You're doing like a tricep pull down, right? You can use the rope like a lot of people do, but maybe you'll use a straight bar. Maybe we actually fashioned these things back in the day. We actually built them at our gym. It was a Smitty. It was a James Smith invention, if anybody follows Smitty. And basically, we went to what's called Crappy Tire, Canadian Tire here in Canada. We call it Crappy Tire. And screwed a hole through a tennis ball and a hardball and a softball. And screwed a hole and put a hook and created that as an attachment for a cable machine. So now you can grip the ball. And the tennis ball is good because you can squeeze it really, really tight. The softball is good because it's got a much more. So now you've got two like tennis balls, right, that you're gripping and doing triceps. Well, that's a pretty cool idea to increase novelty, to keep things interesting while maintaining the integrity of the program. And also, if you're looking at pure muscular recruitment and trying to increase tone while you're doing it, well, telling somebody to squeeze the hell out of a tennis ball while they're doing tricep pull down is all of a sudden going to get them to feel their triceps. Right. So that's just one example of some way that you can do it. You can change the exercise order within a circuit. We actually do this a lot in online trainer coaching. My program right now, for example, I'm on a 5-day-a-week advanced fat loss program. So there's 2 days of cardio, which is crap, like jogging, like what just waste of my time. But then there's 3 resistance training programs. And I mean, they're fat loss resistance training, but they're resistance training. And it's actually the same program all days. There's actually 2 different programs, but I do them 3 days a week. And the 2 programs are the same exercises. The difference is the exercise order is flipped, right? Entirely new challenge. And so if I'm doing like a bicep, tricep, ab exercise, for example, well, changing that to be a tricep, bicep, ab exercise now allows me to get more out of each one while maintaining it. You can use a different exercise that works the same movement pattern with equivalent intensity, right? Or you can introduce a new training technique, but I would say the training technique like perhaps comes later on. That's the first way to kind of increase this attention and reduce boredom. Well, again, maintaining the integrity of your programming and the results. And a lot of the time what happens is people are like, oh, my clients are getting bored, or I'm getting bored. I'm going to make this so different and so interesting. And all of a sudden now your program's just gone to hell. And your client's not getting good results because they're just doing new stuff every single day and jumping around up and down, which is great when somebody is untrained. For the first like 3 or 4 weeks, yeah, sure, they're going to get results doing literally anything if they go from not moving to moving. But then they're going to hit a plateau pretty quick because there's no progressive overload, right? And we all know that progressive overload is, well, specificity is number 1, like you've got to train specific to the goal, but progressive overload is the number 2 most important component of programs.
Yeah.
And if you're keeping changing stuff up all the time, you can't.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Next thing that you can do, you can focus on a specific element to improve. So you can stop them thinking about the entire workout and just focus on one task in the workout to improve. And obviously safety and importance is important, but it's a lot to focus on the whole program. Like that's kind of your job. But if you say, hey, today really want you to focus on stabilizing your shoulders during this one-arm run, right? Like if there's one thing we accomplish today, like that's what it is. Like lock this in, teach them how to feel the lats and the squeeze. I'm just picking that exercise because that's one that a lot of people screw up. But I mean, it could be done with anything, right? Even in a basic chest press, like feel that squeeze at the top, right? Same type of idea. That's just a really good way to like focus in on something really, really, really specific. Next, I mean, maybe like for some people, and this is where everybody's different, like create a distraction. This is particularly useful for clients who complain about discomfort of exercise. Like we've all had clients who just don't like exercising, but know it's important enough that they do it. And that's kind of hard for us to comprehend sometimes because we love exercising, other than running. Nobody likes running, but like we love exercising.
It's been well established here today.
Hey. We gotta get a hate button. I want to get all these buttons for our radio show here. This is how we're gonna record one of them radio shows, Amber. I want to get all these buttons for our radio show, and we're just gonna press one, and it's gonna be Dave Chappelle going hate.
That's for running.
Quite frankly, we're struggling with the limited buttons we have now, sir.
That's a bad idea. Post-production, Amber, you can get the new production team on.
Why not? I'm glad that
we've lost our production team. We are testing out a few new production teams, everybody.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes here. It is a big, very complicated operation that none of us have the relevant skills or expertise or competence to run. So speaking of a distraction and getting distracted, perhaps the more they focus on something unrelated to the task, the less attention they're going to pay to the discomfort on the task. It's not that the pain goes away, it just diminishes. It's like one of the things that Allison taught me about pain is...
easy. It's a family show. Take it down a notch, buddy. Earmuffs, Amber.
One of the things that Allison taught me about pain, because she does, amongst other things, she's qualified or educated in acupuncture, and I hate acupuncture, is like basically when you're putting the needle in somewhere, you like tap another part of the body. Like basically of awareness in some other part of the body because it makes you less aware of the pain that's going on.
Right.
Same kind of idea, right? So, you can get the client talking, obviously if you're like meditative and zoned into your workout, like you're like a Kai Green in the gym, yeah, you're going to get better results. But most of our clients, they just need to get in there and work. And so if the answer is getting them to talk about politics, you know what? Get them to talk about politics while they're working out. Even if you don't agree, you can be like, so that election, what's going on in Arizona? And
then brace yourself.
Right. Ask that question too. You've got like an hour and a half of conversation.
I had a really good example of this with a client of mine. She, part of her programming was planks. And she hated doing planks because, they suck. It's like you're stuck there for like a minute or whatever, and it sucks. But then
bastard stepchild of running.
Right? It's like they're related for sure. And so she hated them. And so there's this song everybody knows, Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham, that she absolutely loved. Like she has a whole story. Like she loves that song. It's super upbeat and everything. So then we figured that out. Like we learned like up until what point in the song she knew that her plank was done. But then the entire time it was spent like, tensing up and a little bit of like dancing, but not really, but singing along and then that's it. It was enjoyable. No longer hated the planks.
Love it. I love
That's like when I was scared of the dark my entire childhood. And every time that I went to sleep, the way that I distracted myself from the dark was singing Chumbawamba.
Oh, I remember that song for a totally different reason, because it was like a clubbing song when I was in my clubbing years, and then I have a lot of memories with that song, but totally unrelated. But okay, but I get it, Jonathan. I get it.
What am I even learning here today? Like, Amber, can I be logged off now?
We're actually paying you until 2:00 then, so you got several.
Okay, all right. I'm locked in then. Let's keep it going.
But it was, I mean, every night when I'd lie down and the lights would turn off, I'd be like, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. And like over and over again until I'd fall asleep. Same thing. Basically what you're talking about with planks is
like 30 when that song came out. You were a child then? How old am I?
I mean, I don't know. How old are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm close to 47.
Yeah. You're like 10 years older than me, right?
Yeah, that explains.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Carry on. I think I got you about
12. I mean, those are the main points. Like, you could also track their progress. For some clients, this will be really motivating for them, some not. Like, I'm an example of a client, for example, where tracking my progress is completely irrelevant to me. I have zero interest in progress pictures and measurements in data, like none, clearly by my Casio watch. But
oh my God, that Casio song that you posted, they're dancing in the video. So Ren, you still gotta do that for us.
So good. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to dance to the sweet Casio. What was it? Hey Casio? Sweet Casio?
It was called Casio by Jungle, I think it was.
It was awesome.
Somebody sent it to me on Instagram. Yeah, no, I was very happy to see that. Upset that I didn't do it myself, but happy to see that. But this, like some clients are really motivated by data. And like, it's not hard to figure out which. It's like, who spent way too much money on an Apple Watch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your person walks in, like if your person walks in with an Apple Watch and is wearing an Oura ring on their finger, it's like, this person is probably going to want to know like irrelevant data to their life.
Yeah.
Right? They've clearly gone out of the way to find that. So, I mean, it's just a matter of knowing who they are, but you can then sit down, or if it's an online client, you can talk about, what are the key metrics the client cares about? Like, okay, are we going to track your weight? Are we going to track your lifts? Are we going to, you can create your own kind of way to give numbers, scales, and stuff like that. And then actually send them like charts and graphs. I mean, literally be like, all right, here's what you did. All right, here's what we're going to do today. And like actually build that out. That could be a really great way to get clients to be much more engaged, a certain type of client to be much more engaged. If you're ever training me, know that I don't care. But there's certainly some people who will. So let's talk about Chumbawamba some more.
I don't believe so, sir. No,
he drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times. Oh, Danny boy. Danny boy.
I feel like this song needs to be added to the notes, to the show notes for those who didn't live through like the Chumbawamba time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Amber's going to GIF me again based on my response to what's going on here today. Amber will GIF. For those out there that don't watch the podcast, there's a lot of body language expression that happens during the course of it. And Amber will cleverly record those snippets and turn them into just the most appropriate GIFs you've ever seen. We have all gotten, I don't think Carol's ever been GIFed.
I have not.
Yeah, you've not GIFed Carol yet.
No.
But Jonathan and I for sure have had some quality GIFs turned out from our. By the way, Keto, you look like you're in the middle of like a Pantene Pro V commercial or something. Like,
it's all the hair. It's all the hair.
It's almost like a telenovela scene because it's a little bit diffused.
Wait, let me.
Because right. Because of the light that's in the background.
For Carol.
Yeah, she's got very soft light around her because she's got the light behind her, and it just looks so telenovela-ish. And you've never seen this room either. I guess you're in the great room now.
No, this is the cottage. We took a little bit of time away at the cottage.
All right. That makes sense. So there's a brick fireplace behind her with a mantle clock and two windows adjacent. Like it's very appropriately set scene.
Yes, it's like, Ricardo Alberto, was it you who killed her?
Was not me, Carolina. It was Ronaldo. So, in any case, circling us back to the what we're actually talking about. If we're actually talking about anything, we're not sure that we are.
Distractions.
Yes, distractions. But you sort of gotten the keys here from Jonathan Goodman in terms of how to keep your client involved and interested. Shockingly, again, it sort of points back to sort of how well do you know your client? Like that's part of what Jonathan was saying. Like, do you know them well enough to know what will interest them? There's a couple of keys here. Number one, which I love, is just switching the grip, like switching some of the acute variables of the program, leaving the program fundamentally the same, switching a grip, switching the order of the exercise. Then Jonathan went on to talk about some modalities that he's used. The tennis ball, softball, other ball. I don't know if it's basketball or anything, something else.
No, when it was that, we had a lot of fun making. Like we used to build equipment a fair bit back in the day, though. It was super fun.
MacGyver.
I built like PVC piping slosh pipes. So
Yes,
we'd get PVC piping, and I'd put either stones or I'd put sand in it, and they'd be
that's the
like
weirdest
sloshing
feeling,
back
by
and
the way.
forth.
Those
Yeah,
things are super weird when you got the liquid in the pipe and you're trying like that's
Yeah,
really weird.
counterbalance
Uh,
it.
yeah, because once it gets moving, man, it's really hard to stabilize it again.
it is.
But,
It
but he
is.
also talked about having them focus on something else, right? Maybe focusing on scapular retraction during a pull up, something like that. I want you to really retract the scapula, or focusing on bracing when you're doing a squat. To sort of level up the intent and difficulty of the exercise, and then talked about things like just sort of distracting them from what's going on, the exercises that they don't particularly like, which always find challenging. I love to talk about that with clients. That's right. That's right, Amber. By golly, I always find that fascinating. That's going to be a GIF. I'm expecting to see that in the next 5 minutes after the podcast is over. This thing. But in any case, even in OTC, Jonathan, I've had more than one coach that says something to the effect of, can I skip over exercise blank and literally say, I just don't like exercise blank. and,
Yeah.
and I'm like, let me think on that. No, you cannot. We can modify, but in any case, so these are all the ways to not only keep the client more interested, but keep you more interested as a coach, because
Mhm.
you've probably done this 6 billion times before, somewhere
Mhm.
around there. Like trust us, we're not any more excited about showing you squat technique than you are learning how to squat. Like we've
Yeah.
sort of done it 7,000 times that day before
Mhm.
before doing it with you.
True.
So you're always sort of trading out, sort of like Americans talk about security versus freedom. My rights
Mm.
versus my freedom. It's sort of what you're trading out in terms of doing your coaching. Variety or results. Sort of you're playing between those two factors. So typically more variety, the less likely you can predict results in any reasonable amount of time, and the more you're concentrating on the result, the progression, the progressive overload, sort of the kind of the less variety that you're going to see in the program, and sort
Mhm.
of nary the two shall meet. So I feel like we solved all your problems once again on the online trainership. We had Keto here and her hair and her sunlight and her, her Alberta VO5 hot oil treatment commercial that happened during the course of the podcast. Jonathan's clean shaven, so PTDC's probably got a payload on next SpaceX rocket. Something big's happening there. Amber's got the belts out, which balances out the forces in the universe. Everything's right. The Earth is on its appropriate axis, and I have a hat on, so everything worked out just fine today. We've once again
The
exercised the
planets
demon.
are in alignment.
This,
Everything is working out.
oh, you
Oh,
know,
Danny boy, Danny boy, Danny boy.
the, as we close with our theme song, "Don't Jingle It Yet." Uh, Quick note: we have a client in the OTC that said that she caught her, I believe, 3-year-old daughter singing the jingle to the online trainer show the other day.
No, that is adorable.
Oh, I'm so sorry for what we've done.
Oh, that is magical. I don't think my kids have ever heard this show, so this is fantastic that somebody else's 3-year-old is singing the jingle somewhere. I can totally, this made my day.
So this should air sort of around holiday time-ish, I guess. So there's your holiday gift from the online trainer show. You know, teaching your children the jingle. That jingle was written by Amber Bowling, by the way. I mean, Amber Bowling. You're the same as them Bowling. Amber Reynolds. I know it, Amber Bowling, but you're not Amber Bowling. Amber Reynolds. Shout out to my college classmate, Amber Bowling, though. She's not listening, but now you know I have a college classmate named Amber. We'll see you next time on the Online Trainer Show. Jingle, jingle, whatever.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.